This is on Imagination with the Healing Garden. We are talking about the logical system. The logical system, I refer to it as the subconscious mind because it's the only part of the subconscious mind, the only part of the mind that has no voice. It's really weird. I still do not know why. I have many hypotheses as to why, including the fact that it might be sentient and therefore it belongs to someone else. And I'm just going to assume that it is part of a different consciousness and that it is sentient and I am just not part of that consciousness. Because if I'm wrong, I'd rather be wrong about that and have treated it respectfully rather than think that it's not sentient and been rude and disrespectful to it. So I like to pretend that my subconscious mind is sentient, that belongs to a different subconscious mind or a different consciousness entirely, which is why I cannot hear it. That way, I am treating it with the utmost respect at all times. I like to call my subconscious mind Spock because it is 100% in charge of all of my logic. All of its purpose is, it's literally the law system, it's the justice system, it's the cognitive core, it's the, everything has to be logical and everything has to make sense, and this is the comprehension core of the self. If the logical system does not understand something, nothing will work. Now, in order for problem solving to take place, we're going to need identity and her imagination. It is not going to work without her. Without her, this is a cold, dead machine with no life, and life is shit. We require identity and her imagination with problem solving to put this thing into the right working operating order. Ethics are literally the justice system. It is the thing that we use in our logic to evaluate whether or not something is good for us, bad for us, and or ethical for us. And that's really important that you understand the difference. Good for you, bad for you, ethical. Good for you, bad for you, ethical. Those are the right words. People, let's start using them. Good for you, bad for you, ethical. The ethics are the 12 ethics. So identity wants, conscious awareness has to drive, decide, listen, and make judgment calls on what is best for identity. That's going to take practice. We cover that skill later. While all that's going on, the logical system is absolutely computing mathematically complex logical if-then clauses, which is your logical code. This is your logical health. Identity and the ethics are the story health. The ethics and the logic are your logical health. It's the ethics that tie in your identity with your logical health so that you can navigate life safely. Identity is the consequence, or I'm sorry, is the catalyst, and everything else is the consequence to it. This is all 100% measured on the metric that is your intuition, that is Mother Nature. So now you've got this cognitive core. The cognitive core, when I first built the cognitive core, was in 5 parts. Little did I know that the cognitive core is actually the entire subconscious mind. It is the core of the AIDNS. Abstract, intradimensional, navigational system. I'm going to say that again. Abstract, intradimensional, inside the self, not intra. Abstract, intradimensional. The perspectives are dimensions. I have a lot to say about time. The abstract, intradimensional, navigational system. Navigation. It is how you are going to navigate the self, the mind, the comprehension of who you are, your entire life journey internally and outside, because they are symbiotic. We're going to breaking down how all of these things are related later on. Right now, we're just going to give you the components and the parts and teach you how to run your ship, because this is your ship. And I love ship metaphors. So we're going to start here. Your cognitive core is made up of 5 chambers. The first chamber is the identity. The second chamber is your ethics. Now, this is going to change as you grow. This is important because this is huge on determining the rest of everything else going on here. Identity is your point of origin. She does not change. She is stable. She never changes. That's why she's first. Your ethics are going to change as you grow. She's going to integrate with your identity. so that these two become part of itself. So every time you learn a new ethic, you're not losing the old ethic, you're integrating and building upon it, because this is the foundation of the self. This is your foundational self. Identity, your ethics. There are 12 ethics. You're going to go through them 3 times before you get to the point of comprehension. This is your logical system right here. Your logical system is 100% all of the data that goes in that gets evaluated and assessed to determine on whether or not you need or should insert something into your system. Guess what? Without self-authority, you're printing in a whole lot of data without any evaluation. Don't do that. You need your self-evaluation. You need your self-authority so you can assess the quality of information going into you. Guess what? This is your mind, which means the more you learn ethical and valuable quality information, the higher the asset value increases. The more garbage you put in your brain, the more it decreases the value of your asset. You want to increase your mind's asset value. So you want to make sure that you are putting in valuable, high quality information into your mind to increase its value. This is learning. We do this at the ethics, at the 12 ethics. Your ability to assess whether or not something is good or bad is a skill we are going to be covering with you to teach you how to determine if something is good information or bad information for you. It must be 100% compatible with your logical code at all times. If it is not, you are going to end up with 2 things. 1, toxic beliefs. The toxic beliefs are incompatible with identity, and that's going to require you get rid of identity. Oh, look, you just got rid of your point of origin. That's a problem. So how about if we put identity back? But that's going to require you remove some logical fallacy. A toxic belief or a limiting belief is a real layman term for logical fallacy. So we're going to use logic, it's called the logic skill, we'll be covering it, to get rid of your limiting beliefs. Now, this is where society likes to be a bully about things. Society loves to come in over here at this point and starts to abuse this part of the brain and aggressively try and change everything over here. You've got an identity, ethics, and a logical system that has a problem with that. So when you address this and this because of this part views that as an attack. So now it looks at your conscious awareness and says, oh my God, now our conscious awareness is attacking us. Quick, get the self-preservation system. Oh wait, that's gone. Fear response kicks in. Stop forcing mindset alterations on yourself. It is attacking your subconscious mind. Stop trying to Pavlov dog yourself. It is an attack on your subconscious mind. Stop using psychological manipulation on your subconscious mind. It knows it's under attack when you do that, and it's causing your fear system to increase because you are attacking it. Please don't do that. We call this civil war, and a union divided against itself cannot stand. So we're going to stop doing the barbaric abuse of the self. We're going to do this logically. In order to get your identity to come back, you're going to have to logically have a conversation with yourself to prove to yourself that you have somebody who is helping you now, because you have the user's manual of the subconscious mind. So now you understand and you have a plan of how you're going to calm the subconscious mind's fear system, because now you're going to use logic and you're going to work with the team to start nurturing everybody back to health. And it's okay now. And we're going to start with some logical fallacy to clear this out. And it's okay to do that now. The more we do that, the more we're going to bring identity back, and we're going to be working with her gently, and we're going to reinforce everything around the ethics to keep you safe. As we do that, we are going to provide more pure logical education and comprehension to increase and fortify true logical code. That way, your system will naturally reset itself ethically, gently, the right way, so that it will say, I don't need my fear system anymore because I've got identity and the ethics and logic. These three things in summation gain a name. This name is who you are. Now, you don't know who you are yet, maybe. You might not know who you are yet, possibly. You might have 20 different names by now, and that's okay. You are going to continue to add to your names. Each name you give yourself is a stage and a milestone. It is a title of your journey. I am Anna Sunshine Imagination, Queen and Goddess of Manifestation. And I have Joanna Berrigan and identity as all the part of me. I have many, many, many names. Every name that I have in my system is a milestone for every trial that I accomplished. It is my role and it is my title. You're supposed to have many names depending upon the voyage that you have undertaken. Do you remember in The Hobbit at the end when Bilbo confronts Smaug and he says, I have many names. I am Barrel Rider, and he gives all of his names. This is what he was doing. So when you start off, you might be Bob, and that's it. The more you accomplish, the more trials you go through, the more you go through your learning journey of the discovered self, the more names you are going to achieve. Change your name as often as you need to. When your journey is over and you finally reach the point of comprehension, you will know your true name. That is actually what you are doing. It is the pursuit of your true name. You are looking for your name. When you arrive at the point of comprehension, you will have your true name. And then you will know who you are. This lovely thing here is your perspective. This is your perspective. It is the summation of all of these things to show you what you see in the world. Every time you grow and change an ethic, this is going to change. This is called cognitive core processing. Every time data goes inside of your cognitive core's logical center, it goes through a checks and balance logical system to make sure that the data is logically compatible with the self. And again, it shifts your scope going accordingly. So when somebody gives you a word like red herring, that word goes into your system and it shifts your perspective scope if you're not using discernment. Now they are literally controlling your entire perspective scope, whichever way they want, because they have access to this. I call this the abuser's door. The fourth ethic gives you absolute fortification to protect this, but you gotta have the fourth ethic, which is discernment, personal law, personal boundary. That is your cognitive core. The entire composition of this thing has an emotional mental environment. All of your emotions come from this in a proper order of operations to tell you the order of operations of this contraption called your cognitive core. This is the center of the self. This is at the heart of you. This is your AIDS, your abstract interdimensional navigational system. The very first thing you're going to have to learn is how to protect and shield up this gorgeous thing because, are you ready for the stat? 140,000 pieces of data goes into every one of our brains every day. 140,000 bits of data get put into your cognitive core. This is a real statistic. You can look this one up. 99.9% of my statistics are fiction. That's right, except two. 140,000 bits of data going into your brain, that is real. You can Google it. 95% of your subconscious mind, 95% of your life, according to the CDC and NIM, is determined by your subconscious mind. That's a real statistic. You can look that one up too. Your conscious awareness being in charge changes that statistic beautifully. Your conscious awareness can be 100% in charge as soon as you know how to use your subconscious mind. If you don't know how to use your subconscious mind, you are your mind's little bitch. So the whole purpose of this is to teach you how to dominate and take over and discipline very gently and very ethically your cognitive core and your subconscious mind. We are going to be breaking down the cognitive core a lot, walking you through it a lot. We're going to be spending a lot of time teaching you about your cognitive core, all the different parts, the order of operations, how it works, all of it. Once you understand how your cognitive core works, everything's going to become a lot easier for you. Remember, as conscious awareness, your job is to advocate for the identity, listen to the intuition, and make sure your cognitive core is protected, cleaned out. I have a cleaning process that I do twice a day. I'm going to say that again. I'm really fucking good at managing my cognitive core, and I'm aware of my cognitive core. And I still clean mine 2 times a day. How often are you cleaning yours? And are you even protecting yours? If you are not cleaning yours out, and if you don't know how to protect yours, you are looking at every 2 hours. That's where I was when I started this. I had to clean out my cognitive core every 2 hours. Every 2 hours. That's a statistic. This is something you are really going to have to wrap your head around. Until you learn how to master the craft and the skill of protecting your cognitive core, every 2 hours, you are going to have to clean it out. When you are done mastering the skill of your cognitive core, you are still going to have to clean it out twice a day on an average day. If you have a bad day, you're going to have to deliberately go out of your way to go, okay, I need to do a cleanse. I call them cleanses for a purpose. A cleanse is when you clean out your RAS to reject any illogic that does not belong or match to your logical code. That's all it is. It is identifying the RAS system and ensuring, that's this part right here, it's the third part. It's ensuring that the data inside of your mind is compatible with your logical code. In order to do that, you have to know your logical code. I will be teaching you how to build and identify your own logical code. I will be giving you mine. Mine is a skeleton frame. Mine can be used for anybody's. You can use mine if you want, and then you can craft it into your own. Absolutely. It starts with love. Love is the very first logical code, and then you just build off of there, and then it weaves itself into whatever you need to weave it. And in point of fact, as you move closer and closer into the point of comprehension, it is the deconstruction of illogical fallacy into the construction of logical code. So that by the time you get to where I am at the point of comprehension, you will have pure logical code, which is compatible with literally all purified logical code. It's extraordinary. So I can just give you the code if you want, but you need to understand the theory and how to do it. That way you can protect it, that way you can manage it. So that's really all you're doing. When you are on a healing journey, all you are doing is breaking down the logical fallacy and rebuilding proper, healthy logical code that is compatible with your identity and your ethics. You are literally living on your life stream to ensure that identity gets what she wants so she can discover the self. And you are overseeing the operations of this process. That's it. Now that's life. Now, when you first start it, people are like, whoa, this is healing. No, it's not. It's called life. You're just so not used to it that you're calling it something different. After a while, you realize, oh, this isn't healing at all. This is just life. You just haven't been living up to now. All right, now we are going to dive into your defense system. Thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.